All right. We are going to do some Mary Poppins. I thought it was practically perfect pressing. Practically perfect in every way is what I'm hoping to be when it comes to pressing. So you have to be pressing or it will be depressing. And also, you can say you have to be regressing or it'll be depressing. All the rhyming is good on timing. And speaking of timing, now's a perfect time to get your Let's Roll hat at holyroller.com. Let's Roll comes with the red and the black, or just the red and then a totally black hat, so you could choose. But grab one of those at holyroller.com. And I'm gonna put this right over here because the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to just talk about some pressing and practice your pressing. And so I'm going to give you, when it comes to practicing your pressing, you should know each number, what it pays, what you have to throw in to power press. Maybe I should add another P in the title for power. Practically power pressing. And I don't know. Never mind. So what we're going to do is we have 300 and what do we have? $300. We have $300. So small bankroll, the very minimum you should ever play craps with is $300, especially on a $10 table. That's an average of $30 per shooter because you want to have enough for 10 shooters. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you whenever you play how you get paid, but then how you should press. So there's 3 terms you should remember when playing craps, and that is press, collect, regress. So I'm a proponent of not doing same bet. So what that means is if you have $10 on the 5, that $10 is going to pay 14. So $10 if the 5 rolls will pay 14. I'm a proponent that you can press by 1 unit. So the word press means double. Then you get $4 back. I don't think that's a good. I don't even think we should press. So in other words, $10, your press wouldn't be to 20, although that's what press means. It means double. But because you have $4 here, you might as well throw in $1 to make it 25. So on the 5, since we're starting on the 5, 10 and 25. So I'm going to put it up here like this, 10, 25. When the 25 hits, you're going to get paid $35. Now you could choose whether you want to be aggressive or not so aggressive, okay? Because you'll get paid 35 and then you can add 10 to the 25 and then bring back a quarter, okay? So after 2 hits, you would, so you might say, well, if you got 2 hits with 14, you'd have $28 if you just did same bet 2 times. But the difference is you would have a $35 5, which pays 49. So if that pays 49 on the $35, then what you'd want to do is have $1 in your hand, and there's many numbers that can have what do you call it, a $49 payout, or something where you have to throw in like $1 or 2. So it's always good to have some ones in your hand so that right when it rolls, right when it hits, if the 10 hit, if it was a $10 5 and it hit, I would throw in $1 and say take it to 25. When the $25 hit, it pays 35, I would say take it to 35, and then I'd bring back a quarter. Once this one hits, I will throw in $1 because it pays 1 for 50, and then I would take it to 50. Okay, so what that means is you'd bring $35 back to your rack, and then it would become 50. Okay, so we're skipping some in between, but these, whenever you press and you practice your pressing, you want to know on my 5 and 9, because the 5 and 9 are the same. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go from 10 to 25 to 35 to 50. Now the 50 pays 70, so instead of $1, I want to throw in a $5 chip, because then I will throw in the 5 and it'll be 75 for 5, because 50 pays 70. All right. Did I get a... Oh, Claude, super chat. Thanks. Rewatch lessons learned. Yeah, that was one of my big videos where I had $4,000 that I won from $300 actually. $300 turned into $4,000. That same $4,000 I used for over a year on like 12 cruises, and then on one cruise I lost all $4,000. I won a free cruise when I spent $1,500. I was $1,500 down, and I won the free cruise. So I still had, you know, 3,500. No, sorry, whatever. I still had some money, and sorry, I got this math in my head right now. But I still had some money, and I said, should I just quit and just take the free cruise for $1,500, or should I try to win my money back? I tried to win my money back, and I lost it all. It was called that strategy was called desperation. No, I'm just playing. All right, so now on this one we got paid. So we threw in 5 and we got paid 70, and so then what we would do is we would take it to 75 and bring $50 or $45 back to our rack. So the difference of this, so the next bet would be 75. And so the difference of this, the reason why you want to know these numbers is because you're pressing, but you're also bringing back to your rack after that second hit. So the first hit, and so this is the thing you want to practice. Practice makes perfect. And if you practically want to practice to press, then I would say this: whatever your initial bet is, here we go, here's the 4, and this pays 105, by the way. So what it pays is that would be kind of like where you'd want to stay, and then you would just collect 105 every time the 5 hits again, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. The 5th hit, 5 hits on the 5 is 105, and that's when you just collect it. And you would have made, because you're bringing money back, you had made, I should count it up, you'd make over $200 off of a $10 bet, $11 bet if you did it that way. All right. And the reason why I say 11, because initially you throw in $10, then you throw in $1, that's 11. Then from then on, it's all casino money. Okay. But don't go to 105 if you press from there. So we're only going to press like that. We're only going to get to $75. So the point of the pressing is whatever you put out. Okay, here's the 4. Just never, I know this sounds weird, never, but you have to make it up in your mind. How many hits are you playing for on that number? And I don't think anybody in playing craps, this is just my opinion, it could be wrong, and I'm sure you guys could blow me up in the chat or the comments about this, but I don't think if you bet a $10 4, the first time the 4 hits, you should not collect. Like, there's this thing, the ABCs always be collecting. Well, I guess you would collect a little bit on the 4 the first time, because your next level, because that pays 18, okay? So on the 4 and 10, the $10 pays 18, and you would take it to 25. Okay, so meaning that you would just add that, and then you have $4 or $3 back, but you'd pay a vig on a cruise, you have to pay up front, so you'd bring $2 back to your rack on that one. So the 4 and the 10 are the only ones you don't have to throw in money. So this one, if the $10 4 or 10 hit, you say take it to buy it for 25 or take it to 25. Okay, so then what that would look like, the second bet, there's the first bet. So the second bet is 25. So now you could see that these look very similar. However, the 4 skips to, because now you throw in $1. And remember when you got the 2, so you throw in $1. If the $25 4 hits, it pays 50 for 1. Okay, and if it pays 50 for 1, you go to 50. Okay, so that's the next step. But if you go to 50, you're actually bringing, because you have the quarter, it pays 50. You're putting 1 quarter on it, which is $2, by the way. So that first $2 you got back, you throw both of those in because you're going to go to 50, and then you bring a quarter back. So that $10 bet, you bring a quarter back after 1, 2 hits. So at least play for 2 hits is what I'm trying to say. Because $10 for 18 or $10 for 25. It's a better bet if you hit it twice. Okay, so then so notice this one's 50 here, so we kind of skip so on a 5 and 9, 10, 25, 35, 50, 75. Now you could just cut this one out if you wanted to, but I find that's a good one to get because when we roll it out, I'll show you how we'll do it. And then this one will pay $100. So this 4, you would throw in $2 and it would pay 100. And so that is when I would collect. If you see a black chip, collect it the first time you see it, okay? So really, that's all we have to do. Once you collect the first chip, black chip or black check, the next one, so there would be an empty spot here because you would stay, and then the next one would be 100. You would actually, because you're going to get paid 100, put it in, the next 100, you'd press it to 100. So anyway, well, we're going to rack that black chip. So there's the 4 and the 10, really simple. Now the 6 and 8 are a little bit more complicated. And so because you have to do multiples of 6 when you bet the 6 and 8, because every $6 pays 7. And so if you play $5 or $10, they round it down and you lose money. However, on a Royal Caribbean ship, when you're playing craps on a cruise to earn a free cruise, they won't allow you to do improper bets, which means a $10 table minimum on the 6 and 8, the minimum is 12. And then the next level is multiples of 6. So 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. But in our pressing, we're not going to press that way. We're not going to press and have that many numbers to have to memorize. So here, 10 to 25, right? And if you had a 25 here, you would have to put 30 instead of 25, right? Or you could go to 24, but we're going to cut out the 24. We're going to go to 30. So if this hit, it would pay $14. And if you said press, they would just take it. Press means double, so they'd take it to 24. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to have a $24 6 or 8, because what we're going to do is when they throw in and give us the $14 that pays, that's when we're going to throw in $4. So we're going to add $4 to it, because 24 plus 4, or sorry, 24 Then you have this 2 right here. 24 plus 6 is 30, right? Because that would be the press, but we're going to power press. So you throw in $4, and then it takes that bet to 30. So you can see it's kind of the same, right? So we're skipping the 18 and 24, and we're just going straight to 30 with $4. And again, all of these, we don't collect on the first time it hits. We collect on the second time it hits. So now we'll show you where the next one is, and it's much like this one here. So that pays 35. And so when that pays 35, or when the $30 6 or 8 hit and it pays 35, throw in $2. Now the reason why you're throwing in $2 is because you're going to add $12 to that bet. So it's going to go to 42, okay? And you're going to bring, on your second hit, you're going to bring $25 back for your 12 plus 4, okay? So your $16 bet, because remember you're throwing in 4 if it hits, you're going to get 25 back. And the idea is every time you press, you're bringing something back. Except for the first one, you're going to do what's called power press. You're going to the next level. So this would look like, the next level would look like this. It would be the 30 plus the 12 on top. So the next level would be 42. Okay, 40. That's a green under there, 42, just like the 35. So then all these numbers here, so one hit would be 30, second hit would be 42, and you bring a quarter back. Even though you throw in $2, so you're bringing in 20, you're bringing back $23, okay? And then that pays, just like this, 50 for 1, 50 for 1. So just like this, you'd have $1, $1, $1 ready. Here you'd have $2 ready. So that's why you want to have some dollar chips or checks in your hand ready, that when those hit, you would just throw in $1 and it'd pay 50 for 1 because it pays 49, right? So then where do you go from there? The next step would be 60. Now let me show you how you would get to 60. They would pretty much just give you $25, $30, $32, and then you'd have a $60 bet, okay? But and don't get confused because I'm showing you the different stacks. So they would pretty much add a quarter underneath it and then give you the $7 off the top and a quarter. Okay? So that's how they would bring it down. All right, so the next one's going to look like 60, okay? So that's our next step would be 60. Now 60 pays 70, so we could throw in a nickel and get 75 for 5. But usually, instead of throwing in the nickel, I just say take it to 90, because what's going to happen is that gets paid 70, so it looks like this. It looks like this, and I say take it to 90. They keep $30, and they give me $40. So 25, 30, 40, okay? Then they just put this on the top, and it looks like 90, okay? So the next level would be 90, so it'd look like this. 75, see the base right here? 75 and 75. This pays 105. 90 pays 105. And then we get $5 back. So we're still pressing, but so anyway, we only have 5 numbers to remember. And so all these are the same as, so the 6 and the 8 are the same, the 5 and 9 are the same, and the 4 and 10 are the same. And you might say, well, you have to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits to get 100, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits to get 100 on each one of those, but you only need 1, 2, 3 hits to get 100 on a 4 and 10. Well, there's only 3 ways to make a 4, 3 ways to make a 10, so they don't roll that often. And the 6 and 8, there's 5 ways for the 6, 5 ways for the 8, so there is 10 ways altogether. 4 ways to make a 5, 4 ways to make a 9, with 36 different combinations. There's 36 different combinations, and 3 ways to make a 10. The 7, there are 6 ways to make a 7. It's the most probable, and that's why you want to collect as you go. Collect as you go. But if you always just stay same bet, same bet, same bet, then it's really hard to make any money playing craps, because you're playing for this roll. This is the roll you're playing for. You're playing for the long roll. You're playing for when you can get 5 hits on these inside numbers, because there's 10, 14, 18 ways. In these 4 numbers on the inside, there's 18 ways, which is half the ways of the dice. And a lot of people look at the field and they say, whoa, look at all that. That's a 1-roll bet. It's only determined on the next roll of the dice, but it's only 16 ways of the dice, so less than half. So if you're only going to bet 4 numbers, 5, 6, 8, 9 would be great, but you might as well throw in an extra 20 bucks and put $10 on the 4 and $10 on the 10 and just get all those box numbers if you're going to be betting and planning to press. But remember, when you do that, don't collect on the first one. Just press or power press on the first one. So we're actually skipping the press and we're doing what's called power press, which is going up to the next level. Okay? So any questions about practically practicing your pressing? And there's John again, just mocking me because I'm up in Colorado with cold weather, and he's saying good afternoon from sunny Southern California. And you know, John, Colorado, although there are other states like Florida that are called the Sunshine State, Colorado has 300 days of sunshine every year. So when it snows, and then it gets sunny outside, and then it melts. So I could say it's sunny here too, but it's just really cold. Really cold. All right, so there's your numbers that you want to remember. You want to write those down from 10, and maybe I'll do another video of how I'd press if it was a $15 table starting at the 15. But there comes a point where you get to this place where you almost want to treat the 6 and 8 as 1 bet, the 5 and 9 is 1 bet, and the 4 and 10 is 1 bet, meaning that when it hits, you press them both. And so we'll talk about that, and I'll roll it out, and then we'll actually I'll show you how we do some pressing. And so let's get ready to roll it out. And if you haven't already, right up here, if you're watching live right now, there should be a subscribe button up at the top here. Go ahead and press that subscribe, and then there's like some 3 dots over here. If you press those 3 dots, it'll allow you to give this video a thumbs up. So go ahead and do that. Give this video a like, and also, if you want to get some merch or a hat, now's a great time to get the Let's Roll hat with the R bracket. The Let's Roll hat, it comes with the red or just the black. It still has the red writing on it, the red dice and the red R, but holyroller.com, holyroller.com, and it's spelled with that. It's spelled here. I'll turn it so you can see. It's spelled like that right there. That's how it's spelled. No ER, just the R. Or I have it down here. All right, let's get back to it. And let's get ready to roll. Speaking of let's roll, right? You had to look at that this whole time. Like, okay, let's roll already. Let's roll already. All right. So I'm going to start with $500. Hey, what's up, Jeff? Ryan is here from Mark the Point. Mid-Atlantic Craps. If you want live rolling and playing along, Jeff at Mid-Atlantic Craps does a great job. So subscribe to his channel. Check him out if you're not already. Same thing with Mark the Point. Ryan at Mark the Point, and most people call him Mark. Hey, Mark, the Point, Ryan. Ryan is, he rolls out some awesome strategies, and I really like his presentation. So give him a like and a subscribe. And then we got Claude here, the Cowboy Valley and Timberline Junction Model Railroad. You got to check that out. And the shirts are great quality too. Yes, Claude is a member of our channel and has some merch and has probably won some merch at one point during our giveaways. So, all right, let's see if we could get this back to we're going to do $500 instead of $300. So, with that being said, we have this is 3, and I'll just do 4 or 5 with the, no, I'm gonna get green. Excuse me as I reach over here because I'm gonna get the green. So now we have 500. $500 looks like that for us, and we're gonna bring all this down, and then we'll get ready to roll and see if we can collect some black chips really quick and see how long it takes to collect some black chips. So black chip is $100, and so if you play craps for an hour and can earn a black chip, that's $100 an hour. But if you lose, you can lose more than $100 an hour when you're playing craps. And that's why they call it crap. Oh my gosh, crap, I lost some money. All right, here we go. Puck is off, bets are off. We'll be the shooter. And so whenever you're playing craps, you only have to play the pass line or the don't pass line if you're the one rolling the dice. And if you're not rolling the dice, don't play the pass line. That's the number one rule. You can play the don't pass because that's the best bet. This is the worst bet. Best bet in the casino, worst bet in the casino, pretty much. People will tell you the other way around, or they'll say pass line with odds is the best bet. What they mean is zero house edge. I'm going to do another whole video about house edge and how all that works. But right now, just remember the pass line, don't bet it unless you're rolling the dice. All right, so I'm rolling the dice, so I'll be on the pass line, okay? All right, they'll pass you 5 die, and then you pick 2. They'll take the other 3 away, and then you pick them up and you roll them, and you can only touch them with one hand. You can't like switch them between your hands, and you can't take them out of the table. You have to keep them inside the bowl, they call it, inside the table, because there's walls around it, so you have to keep the dice inside the table. And you can't totally cover the dice. You're not supposed to totally cover the dice where they can't see the dice. They're supposed to be able to see the dice at all times. And so with all that being said, let's roll and see if we can get a come out roll. So this would win on 7-11. It would lose on 2-3-12, but we want to get one of those box numbers. Here we go. And it is an 8. All right. So now this becomes a bet on the 8. And we have to roll an 8 before a 7 in order to win this bet. However, this bet is only paid as a flat bet. And if we did odds, it's this $20 would pay less than that 8 out there if we bet it out there. So for the sake of pressing, I'm actually going to place the $12 out here just for the sake of pressing. So we're going to act like, because this is how you'd play it if somebody else is rolling. You wouldn't play it here, you'd play it here if somebody else is rolling, okay? Then we're gonna get, oh, sorry, I have to use this money. I'm using like the other money here, okay. So let's take 12 for the 8. That'll go back over here, sorry, my bad. And then we'll do 12 for the 6. Then we'll do 10 on the 5 and 9. And when you're doing this, you pretty much will put your bets right here on this line. You don't want to put it here. You don't want to put it here. You want to put it on the line because they're going to put the dice right up at the top of the table, and that's when they'll put the bets out. Well, if your bets are here, they may put the bets out for rolling because they think it's a come bet. If your bets are here, they think it's a field bet. That's why you want to put it on the line. If you put it on the line, they will not let the dice roll, or they won't take the dice away. So always just place it on the line, right here. You wouldn't put it up there is what I'm trying to say. You just put it on the line and say, can I get a, and usually you would just put enough money to go however much you're going to go. Now this is 64 across because we're going to get the 4 and the 10, okay? So this is $64, so $74. We're playing for $74 right now. Now, whenever you're playing craps, you want to play enough for 10 shooters. So you want to have 10 shooters. And if I'm going to play like this 10 times, then whatever I'm going to play, I need 10 times that money to come up with. Now, I only have 500, but I should have 700 or 800 because this is 74. That's $740 that I should be playing with, but I'm only playing with 500. So what that means is my odds of winning are down because you want to have enough rolls to catch a roll. They call it catch a roll or catch a hand. Every person that rolls the dice, that's called a hand. So they're gonna roll the hand. So let's see how long this hand lasts. You want a long roll. If the 7 comes, we lose all of that. That's the big risk. And there's more ways to make a 7 than any other number. And that's why this is the best bet, because this is a bet on the 7. And so a 6, 7, 8 are the best 3 numbers to bet on. So this is $24. This is upside down, by the way. So this is $24. If you were only going to bet the 6 and 8 and here, that's $34. Now you could play with like 350 bucks. You know, if you're going to play with, if you're going to do $44, not 64, you're going to do 44 and 54, there's a $500, you know. So technically, because I only have $500, I don't have really enough money to play all the numbers right now. But I'm going to do it and play it just for you. And because I got that super chat, I have an extra $5 so I could play. Here we go. Here we go. So we're going to roll them and hopefully we'll hit one of these numbers. What we want in our hand right now is we want at least $5 in ones. So you want to have at least 5 of them, because if the 5 or 9 hit, you're going to throw in $1. If the 6 or 8 hit, you're going to throw in $4. So you want to have this at least $5 in your hand ready to go for whatever hits. And I'll do it really fast and we'll see what will hit. Okay? So here we go. We roll it and it is a 6. So a 6, I know a 6, I'm throwing in $4. So this is why you want to be practiced. This is why we're practicing. We know that if a 6 hits, I'm throwing in $4. And what I'm going to say is make it look like 30. Or I'm going to say take it to 30. You can make it look like is slang, or you could say take it to 30. So what they're going to do is they're going to make it look like 30. I'm gonna make it look like kind of guy. So they're gonna make it look like 30. So now this is a $30 bet, right? And then now we're gonna roll again. And now what I want to have in my hand is $2 if it's a 6 again, $4 if it's an 8, $1 if it's a 5 or 9, right? So all I need is 2, technically, because yeah, I'm going to keep $4 in my hand. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. And it's a 9. What am I throwing in? $1. I know when the 9 hits, I'm automatically just dropping $1 and saying make it look like a quarter. Okay, take it to a quarter. Because 14 plus 1 is 15 plus 10 that was there is a quarter. Okay, all right. So here we go. Now we're getting ready to roll again. And let's see if we can get that 8. And it's a 9 again, okay? So it's a 9. So now we know what we're going to do is we're going to say, make it look like 35. So it's going to pay 35, okay? And we're kind of switching it, but really they'll just take the 10 and put it there, and then we're bringing back a quarter to our rack, okay? So remember, $10 bet, throwing in $1 is $11 investment, and we got 25 back on the 9. Treat every number as its own, because if that 9 keeps hitting over and over, it'll be really high and the rest won't. We won't waste our money putting it anywhere else. And let's see if we can get another 9. But the 8's good too. Here we go. And it's a 9. There you go. That's why I do what I do, right? All right, so I know I'm going to throw in $1. And why am I throwing in $1? Because I would throw in $1 last time, right? Or the first time. I'm still throwing in $1 because 35 is 50 for 1. Okay? 50 for 1. And so I am bringing back 35 this time and taking it to 50. So now my $10 bet on the 9 has brought me $60. Now remember, I started with 64 all the way across here. So I almost got all my money back just because of the 9 and because I'm practicing perfectly pressing in every way. Shout out to Mary Poppins. Here we go. And there's an 8. We got the point. We got the point of 8. So I know I'm going to throw in $4, right? The puck goes off. Throw in $4. Make it look like 30. They're going to make it look like 30. So basically, the thing you have to remember is never collect the first hit. You always power press the first hit. And what I'm saying is skip the press is what I'm saying. Then we get paid right here $10 as well. So we did bring $10 back to our rack. So we brought altogether, probably over this because that wasn't the first time we brought money back, but we at least brought $70 back, and we started with 74. So now it's a come out roll. This is on and those are off. Okay, here we go. It's a 5. 5 is the other side of the 9. So whenever you see a 5 like this, the 9 is on the other side. No matter what. If it's a 9, it's a 5. If it's on the other side, if it's a 6, it's an 8. If it's a 4, it's a 10. And that's why they're the same odds, okay? All right, so the point goes to 5. We don't get paid because it was off, okay? But we do want to put and have money in our hand ready for our pressing, okay? All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. Guess what? We hit the 9 again. I don't mind the 9. All right, so because we hit the 9 again, we're going to, instead of throwing in $1, we're actually throwing in $5. And the reason why we're throwing in $5 is because it pays 70. So we're going to get 75 for 5, and then we're going to say make it look like 75. So now it's 75. Look, we're bringing another $50 back to our rack. Okay? Now you might say, what about the other numbers? Press the other numbers. Don't waste money pressing the other numbers until they hit. That's why we're practicing, right? Here we go. Let's go. And it is a 6, and that is the $30 6 that hits, right? So what are we throwing in? Do you remember? We're throwing in $2. Why are we throwing in $2? It pays 35, and then we're going to say take it to 42. This makes it easier for the dealers. Take it to 42. So they're going to give you a quarter back, and then they'll put it all just like that on top, and then you have a quarter back. So now off of that $10 hit on the 6, the $10 bet, we threw in, $12, we threw in $4, so that's $16 we brought back. We have $42 there, but we already brought back $25. All right. Now, we still want to have ones in our hand ready. Here we go. Let's see what happens. 7 out. 7 out. And it is gone. So everything's gone, and this was a good example for the 9. If that 9 hit one more time, it would be paying $105. And so you could see the 4 never hit, the 5 never hit, the 10 never hit. Like, just this whole time they never hit. So we lose all of this money, okay? And remember when we started with, let me count what we had on the table, okay? So we had $177 plus the pass line $187. So we had $187, and I'm gonna count my rack to see how much, because we started with $500, right? And because we started with 500, there's 500, and then we have 525, 554. So we made $54 on that roll, and we had all that money out there. So you might say, man, I wish we could make more money. And I don't know, if that took an hour, which it didn't, that would have been $50 an hour. So that's I know that's barely making it at $50 an hour. Okay, so now we're going to assume somebody else is the shooter, because once somebody sevens out, that's called a 7 out. When you roll a 7 when the puck is on, it passes the dice clockwise, and the next shooter rolls. So we'll try it one more time, and I want to check the chat. Hi, Brianator. When is Amber going to roll the dice? Yeah, we need her to. We need her to. She rolls really good at the table. I tell her, I'm like, please, just come and roll, please. Just come and roll the dice, please. All right, I'm gonna get, whenever it's in between rolls, it's funny, but I always ask for some ones. Like, now's a good time, and what you do is you go here, you put it there, you say check change. So they call these checks, and you say check change. And what that means is if I put 10 in or if I put 20 in, I want some ones, you know. So I'm gonna just do 10 right now. So check change, and then they'll cut you out a 10 ones, and then, you know, then you'll have them. So before every roll, you want to have enough ones so that you have them to throw in. It'll be easier for the dealer and for you later, and it'll keep the game moving as well, because you won't have to like worry about collecting all the different stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and let's go back out for 65, right? So we're gonna say, just like this, we have $65. We're gonna say 65 across, please. Now, you don't have to do it right now, but sometimes if people are buying in or coloring up, you know, they say, hey, color me up, and they're counting all their chips or whatever. And if it's happening on the other side and there's nothing happening on this side, then I'll usually say, hey, go ahead, put me up and off. So they would put you up, but they'll turn your bets off. And you're just getting a head start, because then, you know, when the point's established and then they move the puck, that's when everybody does their bets. If you already know what your bets are, just put them out already. It'll be faster. It'll keep the game moving. But just make sure to do it if something else is happening. Don't do it to slow down a come out roll. But right after the point's established, then you can say 64 across, please. And then they'll give you $1 change, and then they'll set you up. All right, so let's set it up. Again, $10 level, $10 on every number, and $12 on the 6 and the 8. All right. There we go. Let's see what happens this time. Again, we're assuming somebody else is the shooter. And so they pass the dice, and now it's somebody else. All right. And what we're going to have in our hand, we don't need it right now, but we know we want to have some ones in our hand, because because all these bets are off because that puck is off. But once the point's established, then we're going to have money in our hand ready to do some pressing. All right. Here we go. And it's off the camera, but it's in the Yo 11. Yo 11. I forget, I have to throw them over here so you can see them. Here we go. And it is an 8. All right, so it's an 8. And so the point becomes 8. And it didn't get paid because the puck was off, the bets were off. Now they're on. Now we have our money in our hand ready to throw in. Here we go. and it is an 8. All right, so that's the point hit back to back, and because we know it's an 8, $12 8, we're throwing in $4. Remember, we never collect the first one. We always collect the second one, all right? Here we go. Or bring back some on the second one. So that's gonna pay a 14. We're gonna add $4, and then it's gonna make it look like 30. So now we have a $30 8, okay? And the puck goes off, so the bets are off. And so we got our first hit. The next hit, we're making money. Here we go. We're gonna bring back $23 on our next hit off of a 10 or a $12 hit, $12 bet. Here we go. This is come out roll again, and it's a 5 this time. So the point becomes 5. And so now they have to roll a 5, just like when they rolled an 8. So now the point is 5 this time, and we're gonna have some dollars in our hand. If the 8 hits, we're throwing in $2. If the 6 hits, we're throwing in $4. If the 5 or 9 hits, we're throwing in $1. And we don't have to throw in any money. If the 4 or 10 hits, we're just gonna say make it look like 25, and then we'll get $2 back on it. And if you have to pay up front, you'll either get $2 or $3 back. All right, here we go. Let's get any number. There's a 4. All right, this is a good one. So 4 pays 18. And because it pays 18, 4 and 10, you would just say make it look like 25 or buy it for 25. Now, they're going to add this to make it look like 25. And so then if you're on a Royal Caribbean ship or a casino where you have to pay the VIG or vigorish, it's a commission or a tax. When you go above $15, $20 or more, you have to pay 5% tax to place the bet because of the way it pays out. So that would be that, and so we'd pay that, and then we get $2 back on a 4 and 10. We already racked $2. We got $2 of our money back. All right, here we go. Let's get that 4 again. That would be awesome. Remember, we have some 1s in our hand ready to throw in. Here we go. How about a 3? We don't have the 3. It's in the field or it's on a prop bet here. It's a 1-roll bet. We don't have it. Let's go. And it's a 7 out. Wow. We got $2 back, but we threw in a lot. Okay, so all this is gone. Okay, so they would just take it so quick. It'd be gone so quick. You'll be like, what happened to my money? It's like they stack it up and rack it up quick to start over, reset. So you might say, wow, you lost money that time and you didn't, so now we're going to just kind of reset. We're going to throw in our $65. And we're going to assume somebody else is the shooter still again. And this time what we'll do is we'll wait until a point is established. And so what happens is whenever somebody gets the dice and it's time for them to roll, the point gets established. So there's a 5. So it becomes a 5. The dice will go up in the middle, and then they'll mark the 5, and then they'll place everybody's bets. 65 across, please. Remember, put it on this line and just say 65 across, please, including. You have to say including. And that's why sometimes I like to put it out before the point's established, because it doesn't matter what the point is. But usually if you say 44 inside, when the puck is on, they would only really count the inside as the 6, 8, and 9. And they wouldn't count the 5 because they're assuming you're playing the pass line. So you have to say the word including, which means including the point. So 64 across, including. That's what you would say. And then they'll set you up. All right. They'll give you $1 change, and then they'll set you up. Again, all ready to go. We're going to have the dollars in our hands because we're ready to press. And then hopefully we get a long roll. Here we go. How about it's a 7 and it's not a long roll? Oh my gosh. That's spun. I know you want it to be a 5, but it was a 7. 7 out. That's what's called a 0.7 out, and that happens a lot. And that's why I like playing the don't pass. And I play the same amount out there that I play here. So I'll show you, I'll do it this time, but let's throw in 60. Let's get some change first. We have to get 100 change. Let's see if I grab the right amount. I've been practicing this lately, and got it. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to. Did I only throw in $50? No, sorry. I was throwing in 50, 65, and then I'll get $1 back. Put me back up, please. Put me back up, please. And so they put us back up. The point goes off. These bets are back up. We get $1 back. If I have $65 or $64 out here, you can do 64. There's 60, 65. So 65 on the don't pass. This right now when the puck is off will lose on 7 and 11. It'll win on 2, 3. It'll push on the 12. And so let's just try to get past the 7, 11. We're assuming somebody else is the shooter. So hopefully somebody else will not roll a 7 or 11 right now, or we'll lose this. We won't lose that because it is off and the bet is off. Here we go. Let's see what happens. How about a 10? Hard 10. That spun. It is a hard 10. All right. So this is a bet, meaning now it's a two-part bet. So it was wins on 2, 3, loses on 7, 11. Now it loses on a 10. It wins on a 7, but it loses on a 10. So let's go ahead and put that there. Now we have the 65 now. So if the same thing happened that just happened before where it's a 0.7 out, we're going to win $65. So we'll actually win $1 because we'll lose the 64, but we'll win 65. So let's see if we could press and get something back. We don't want the 10, but let's see what happens. Okay, no 10 shooter. any other number. Here we go. And there's an 11. So an 11, we don't have an 11. Sorry, I think I rolled that off the screen. Sorry. There is a 9. All right. So what do we have in our hand? You can see me reaching for it. I'm doing everything now. Okay. So remember, always have money in your hand. What do we do when the 9 hits? We throw in $1. Make it look like a quarter. Pays 14 plus 1 is 15 plus 10 is a quarter. So remember, we don't collect on the first one. We make it. We press it to the next level. So a press would take 10 to 20, but we're going to 25. Okay, so we don't want to press. I'm saying don't press. That's what I'm saying. All right, here we go. Let's roll it. How about a 7? Crap, man, crap. All right, we threw in $1. Remember we threw in $1? So we were in it for $65. Okay, so this will go back to 10, and then this money, we would lose it all. So we'd lose all this money. It's $65. That's what we would get paid, $65 on a pretty, might as well be a 0.7 out. Okay, actually we have to add an extra $1. There we go, add an extra $1. Now we throw this back out. We're like, hey, put me back up. So anyway, that's why I like playing the insurance bet, I call it over here. But there is the big risk. So what happens if I get a 7-11 right here? Then I wouldn't put it back. Because you saw me lose it last time where I just lost it, 0.7 out. I'd rather lose it here on the first roll, and then I'll try to win it with this one. I'm putting more money at risk, but when you're playing Craps on a Cruise to earn a free cruise, this would be a $130 bet average. So better comp value for a free cruise. So, and you're only risking half of it. I'm risking half of it right now, and then actually I'm risking half of it on the first roll. Here we go. Here we go. Let's not get it this time. Okay, another shooter here. Let's get man, that 10 was such a great number. There's only 3 ways to make a 10. Oh my gosh, there's a 7. Did you see that? Okay, so then this loses now. Just like, you know, that one when we had it over there, it lost. I wouldn't put it back. It was mainly just so, but there's a 7. Good thing I didn't put it back. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Get him out of the way. There's a 12. That's still, we need a box number. We need one of those numbers up there. How about, there's another 7. Oh my goodness. That's why you don't go back. All right, here we go. And another 7. You might say, if you were on the pass line, you would be winning every time. But remember, we don't bet the pass line unless we're rolling the dice. A 7 or 11 on the come out is a benefit for the shooter, not everybody else. Don't be greedy and try to bet somebody else's roll, like somebody else's game. Here we go. How about a 5? There's a 5. And the point is 5. And we have some 1s in our hand. And we're going to do some pressing here. Not just pressing, but it's a 6. What do we do on a 6? If you remember, we throw in $4. And the reason why we throw in $4 is because 12 pays 14 plus 4 equals 30. And then on the next hit, we're going to throw in $2 if it hits the 6 again. Let's get the 6 again. And it's a 7 out. Crap. So now we lost this 7 or this 65 and this 65. And that's why you need to have 10 shooters, folks. That's why you need to have 10 shooters. Sorry, I'm just putting this money back in order the way I lay it out so it's a little bit easier. All right, so now we're going to say, let's be the shooter this time. Okay, so now dice came back around to us. We're the shooter, and we're going to do $65. And we're going to say 65 across, 64 across. Or if you have $65, you could just say across, up and off. Okay? They'll give us $1 back, and then they'll put us up. All right, there we go. We're up and we're ready. And now you might say, what are you going to do here? Because if you're rolling, that's the only time you have to play the pass or the don't pass. Now, I could do the minimum, and I would always suggest if you're rolling the dice, only play the pass line. The minimum, don't play odds. If you get a point, play it out there. It pays better. Remember, this is the worst bet. So because that's the worst bet, you might say, oh, I don't know, you shouldn't do it, Brian. How about $65 on the don't pass, shooting from the don't? And sometimes people say, oh, this guy doesn't believe in himself. No, I believe in the dice, okay? I'm playing the odds. Right here, you're playing the odds. Any other game in the casino, they don't tell you to not play the odds, right? You always play the odds. That's this bet. This is not the bet. This is playing, I always say that this is playing with the odds. This is playing with the casino. This is playing, some people say this is against the shooter. No, this is with the dice. This is playing with the casino. So think about it like that. Are you going to play with the dice or are you going to play with the casino? All right, whatever you do, don't play with the casino. All right, unless you have to because you're rolling the dice. But if you do, only do minimum. All right, enough. That was almost a rant. It almost turned into a rant. Oh my goodness. How about 7? That's what I get for ranting. It's a 7. All right. That's what I get. All right, I'm going back up for $10 right here. I'm not putting that back. If this is a 2-3, I'm going to be so angry. It is a 10. It would be a 10. It would be a great don't pass number. But we're on a 10. Those bets were off. And so let's roll. Let's get our money in our hands so we have some 1s in our hand, and we're rolling the dice. Here we go. How about a 2? Yeah, that's just there to mock me. Thank you, Mr. Dice. The dice of the mockery dice. All right, here we go. And there's another 2. Yeah, and just because I called the dice out and said mockery. Okay, so now it's time for some dice influence. How do you dice influence? You say, give me a 6 or 8 dice. And then they give you a 7, and you're like, man, I hate you. Crap, man. That's why they call it crap. Oh. All right, so out of my 500, trying to show you how to press. I wish I had a better, I'm trying to raise money for a real table so I could throw from the end and have like a long throw, like really in the casino, because this is like the worst case scenario. Oh my goodness. Let's see how much we have. I think I'm gonna go all in on this next one. You might say, Brian, don't do it. Don't do it. We're not rolling the dice because we just rolled the dice and now it's passing to the next person. But look, I have enough to do 65 and 65. So give me my dollar change and put me back up. Up and off, please. And we're gonna see what happens here. This is the moment of truth. This is when you've used your budget for your night. All right, here we go. We got all of our money. We're not totally all in. We have our change that we have to throw in, so that's good. Let's get a good shooter. Now remember, we always want to get to 10 shooters. We want to get to 10 shooters, but because we didn't have $700, we don't have quite a much 10 shooters. Let's see what we get this time. No 7, no 11, and I'm just gonna be real with you. This is live, and it's the worst. Somebody else is shooting. Stupid. Hate the dice, not the shooter. Look, oh my gosh. Then it's a 3. That's the mockery of the dice. That's the mockery of the dice. How about a 6? It says, oh yeah, remember when you called for that 6? There it is. Take that. All right, there's the 6. And we have some dollars in our hand ready to go so we can press. Let's get a long roll this time. How about, nope. Okay, so what would you do at this point? Because you just lost all of this. Then this would go off. You have 15, $23. You have $23. You played with 500. So 10% would be $50. Right here, it would be less than a 10% tip, but I would probably just drop all this money and say, hey, thank you so much, dealers, for doing all my pressure and pressing. And you just put it there and you say, that's for you guys. And then you walk away and you do what's called the walk of shame. The walk of shame. All right, let's check the chat and see if we have any questions or comments. And somebody was just, that's why, oh, now I understand why that happened. I looked at the chat and somebody was just typing in the word 7 over and over and over. Man, you could get kicked out of a chat for that. I'll tell you that right now. They're probably on timeout right now. I'm just playing. Are they on timeout? Did somebody put them on timeout? Oh my goodness. Are they on a timeout? Wow, they won't be able to make any comments? Oh man. Whoops. Oh, I don't know who did that. All right, so let's see. just tell them. Oh, you're probably answering some questions, Claude. That's awesome. Thanks, man. All right. Wow, man. What a stream this has been. Sometimes it's like you ever hear somebody say living the dream? Living the dream. Sometimes even nightmares are dreams, right? And that was a nightmare. So again, knowing your pressing units is so important. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. And don't forget to get a hat from holyroller.com. Let's roll, right? Let's roll. And this R actually it's in the Holy Roller logo, but it's also stands for resound, which means share your passion with the world. Let it resound. Like tell people what you're passionate about. So when you say let's roll and you have some dice, I mean that is a good conversation starter. Or you could just wear it when you go rolling and cruising. And I hope to see you. Speaking of that, I hope to see you cruising and rolling on a craps table soon. Don't forget to go to holyroller.com and get one of these. It's Holy Roller without the ER, just the R, just like this, just like this, just like that, and like that down there, just like that. holyroller.com. I hope to see you cruising and rolling on a craps table soon. See ya.